Hello everybody, my name is Hocus Pocus and welcome back to the Minecraft Let's Play. This is episode 104 of the series and today we are kicking things off down in the small storage area of the base. So the reason why we are here is because since last episode I've had an inventory clean out. Aside from these 9 hoppers which I crafted in this clip, but last time I recorded it and I wasn't really happy with how it turned out, so I deleted it and started again. But we've crafted the 9 hoppers and that was because I was in the middle of an explanation. So based on the title of this video, you guys have probably already guessed that we are going to be looking into starting our very own iron farm, which has been a long time coming and something that we've needed for a while now in the game and in this series, because iron is a commodity that of course we run out of, well, we don't run out of it, we've got a lot of it, but it's something that we're kind of tentative to use because it's a resource that is used in a lot of useful recipes. And of course, it's a resource that isn't actually the easiest thing to come by without an iron farm. You do have to go and manually mine it yourself. So to have this iron farm set up will be a bit of a godsend to our world, I believe, and should hopefully keep us stocked up enough that we don't have to worry about iron for the foreseeable future. So for this build, we're going to need a few things. And let me quickly check the miscellaneous tools chest. And our buckets seem to have disappeared elsewhere. I think I know where they are. I think they're over at the new ravine area, so we can go and grab those. But we're going to need to fill those up with some various liquids, such as lava and water for use today. We also are going to need a bunch of building blocks, which I will select off camera probably. And I don't actually know which ones we're going to use yet, so I'm not going to say anything just now. And also we're going to need a few other things, which of course I will get up together off camera. And most of all, we're going to need to craft a bunch of beds. So I want to try and keep them all the same color. So I figured that we'll go with the white wool. So we've got enough for 3 beds here. So have we got the planks for that? We do. So 1, 2, and 3. Let's just go ahead and craft up as many as we can so far. So we've got our 3 wooden planks for the beds, sorry, our 9 wooden planks, and then our 9 wool, and that gives us 3 white beds. So as I said, I'm going to try and keep them all the same color just for design purposes here. And I think we'll quickly head over to the wool farm as well. Check up on our supplies of white wool, just to see if we can make any more. We should have quite a bit of it over there, I would imagine, because I don't think we've used it recently in the series, or at least I hope we haven't, because I haven't really been working on keeping the sheep sheared over here. And of course, since the farm doesn't really work at the moment, we're not getting supplies flowing in. So unfortunately, we've only got 6 wool at the moment. But that isn't too much of an issue. Let's go ahead and shear those white sheep again, just to make sure that we're getting the most here. And I have been shearing them recently. That's why you can see that this guy was actually without his wool. So let's pop those away. Actually, you know what? We'll take them outside with us because there's going to be a bunch of wild sheep outside that we can use to shear as well. So what I'll do is, guys, I'll collect up a few of the resources and I'll meet you outside by the villager breeder because that's where we're going to be starting this project. Okay, guys, so we are outside by the villager breeder, and as you can see, we've still got a bunch of guys in there. However, I don't think they are actually breeding at the moment. You do see the hearts coming up and all of that good stuff, which is usually a sign that you want to see. However, I believe now you need beds and workstations to allow villagers to breed. So of course they're not going to make any new babies, but what we've got here should be big enough of a batch to satisfy our needs for now, hopefully, just to get this iron farm rolling. And then of course we can build a breeder to get things turned up a notch. So at the moment, this is what we got for our iron farm. So this is part of the killing mechanism that we are currently building. And I've kind of just had a bit of a realization actually that we're not going to be able to use these blocks because they can't be flammable due to the use of lava as the killing mechanism in this design. So let's get rid of those and replace them with something else. But we need a little bit of dirt to bring this up to level because I want this to be on this level, not on the lower level here. So let's just fill this in like so. And of course, we've got the 9 hoppers that lead into the center chest there, which is going to store all of the iron that makes its way into this area of the build. So our iron will eventually end up in this chest here, and of course this 3x3 area is where the golems will eventually die. But for us to have them die in the way that we want them to, we're going to have to craft up some fence gates. So let's do this and this. That is the wrong thing. We actually need to do this. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and my stick supplies are getting very low, but that's fine. We need one more fence gate after this, however, so let's go like that. Like that, and then one more. So I think it's 1 log per fence gate, right? I think that's what we worked out during our build of the Guardian farm. There we go. Yep, that is correct. So let's pop that guy there. And then we need to open all of these up because they are going to hold the lava in place whilst also allowing the golem drops to make their way into the hoppers here. So as I said, we need to pick a new block to go outside of this, and then we'll probably put some glass in the center so that we can see into the killing mechanism as it works. But for now, we'll take some time to decide which block we are going to place on the corners and the trim area down here, this area down here, and then I'll bring you guys back in so that we can check out the finalized design. So I believe that we are making good progress here with the killing mechanism, and you guys might be wondering what's going on. I will explain in a second, because this might look a little bit different to what you're used to seeing in 1.14 iron farms, if you've seen any up to this point, of course. But we need to craft up a few more of these, so let's do that. A few more of the dark oak slabs. So we're going to go ahead and pillar our way back up here, and we need to use the slabs on top of these blocks here, on top of this block. We'll leave this open because this is where the golems are going to flow in from, of course, so we'll leave that open. We need one on there, and then we kind of just want to bring this all the way around like so, and this is going to act as a barrier so that hopefully the golems can't escape if they get too close to that side of the wall. And then we need a design for the walls here. So I think, again, we'll just use the same combination of blocks that we've used down below. So let me just quickly organize my inventory here. There we go. And then we'll just do something like this. Then we'll throw in a couple of them here. Get some andesite in there and on this side. Then some cracked stone brick can go there. Possibly some more just there. And then we'll pop that there, and then the rest can be... oh no, we'll do that. There we go. So that works for me. And then, of course, we need to place the water. So how are we going to do that? Because we need to actually block the side off here. So I might do that in a second off camera. Let me just quickly sleep so that we can get the nighttime out of the way as well, so that we're not disturbed by any of the freaky creatures of the night, of course. And this is what we've got so far. So this is the killing chamber, as I said, and I will explain to you now why it looks a little bit different to what you might have seen before. So ours, of course, is 9 wide, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then the rest is kind of just boundary border blocks that are keeping everything in place, such as the water. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a 9 wide stream of water in the center rather than an 8 wide stream of water. It should still work the same, I believe. And that is just so that we can center everything like this instead of having a chute of water that comes off from the left or the right, because I think that looks a little bit janky. So I'd rather just center everything like this, and I think this looks a lot better. So that's the reasoning behind that. Of course, we do need now to go ahead and place our first couple of water streams in and make sure that they can't exit on this side of the build. So let me go ahead and continue watching a little bit more of the video to get a bit of an idea about what we need to do here, and I will be right back. Alright guys, so the water is in place in the small killing chamber of our farm, and we may eventually push this out a few blocks that way depending on how the rest of the farm looks. And hello there, Mr. Wandering Traveler, or Trader, whatever you're called. I don't know. We're not going to spend time looking at him today. His trades last time were pretty poor. So what we need to do from here is we need to bring this out another 7 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we need to just turn this into a rectangle here. So let's take this across 9 to the other side. There we go. And I wasn't actually counting, so I need to use my eyes instead of my mind there. Okay, and then we just need to fill in the center. And this is where the water stream that brings the golems down to the killing chamber is going to begin. So let's just continue on here, just filling this area in with the slabs. And as long as you use the slabs on the top half of the block like this, the golems should have no issue spawning, so we should be good in that regard. So there we go. And then of course the water will get placed across the back blocks here and flow all the way down to the end here and then stop on these blocks. So when the golems come down, they will be forced into this area and then down into the lava. So I think we'll actually have to increase the height here of these blocks, because as you can see, I can jump out, so the golems should be able to as well. So just to be sure about that, we need to do something about the height of this area here, but we'll keep the design roughly the same, I'd imagine. So I guess we'll get that done in a second, but I'm going to continue here expanding the farm, and hopefully today we can get a few villagers in and just check if it works or not. But by the end, you probably want to have around 200 villagers in for it to have any sort of decent rate. So, you know, it's probably not going to get finished today because we're going to need more villagers. But we will try and get it in motion today just to see the thing in action. So I'll be back again in a second when we got some more progress to share. Take a look at this, you guys. We're making progress, as you can tell. And at the moment, we've got 2 of the streams in place, so 1 and 2. So we should be able to start branching out to the left and the right to install the beds and the workstations for the villagers. And I think for the workstations, it's best to use the loom, as that is the cheapest of the workstations. I think it requires 2 planks and 2 string. So let's take a look over here at our mob farm and grab some string. Let's just grab 2 stacks of string like that, and that should allow us to make a stack of the looms, of course, if we have 2 stacks of planks as well. And this is how everything's looking from outside at the moment. I think we've done a good job in keeping this fairly clean because, of course, sometimes these builds can be a little bit ugly and a bit of an eyesore, but I think we've done a good job so far of keeping it looking good. So here we go. Let's create ourselves... let's create 2 stacks of planks here. So we're going to need 32 logs to do that. There we go. And I think they're done just by doing this, the looms. This is how they're crafted, I believe. There we go. So 64 looms. We currently are a bit low on beds. We've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 if we count this one. So of course we're going to need to craft a few more of those to get things underway here. And that does remind me that we do have the shears. So I should probably head out and see if I can find any sheep in the near area. But for now, things are going pretty good. So as I said, next steps are probably to start branching out on both sides to make sure that we can install the beds and the workstations for the villagers to use to spawn the golems. And then hopefully this thing can start functioning in today's episode. And if it can, that will be a huge achievement for us because, of course, we've been longing for an iron farm for quite some time now. So let's get back to work. And as I say, hopefully get this thing up and running before the end of today's video. You guys, I completely forgot that you can craft string into wool, so we're basically rich in white wool now because we've of course got the mob farm which spits out string at an excellent rate. So here we go, we've got 2 stacks of white wool from crafting up a bit of that, which is nice. And we're currently just installing the beds and the workstations, as you can see right there. So let me continue on with the process here. We're going to need a bit of wood, which we should have. There we go, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Craft up a bunch of planks, pop them in like that, and then do this. That should give us a bunch of beds. Too many beds, in fact. Too many beds, in fact. So let's just ditch a few of the resources for now. Head up to the top and place down a few of these beds that need to be just in front of the workstation like this. So we want to pop one there. And then we're going to turn around the other way and place the beds like this. There we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then we got one more. We do not have one more. So we were just about 1 short, which is a bit of a nuisance, but not too much of an issue. So let's do that. There we go. And that's our final bed. So let's head back up and get this one in place. And then once you've got the beds in place, you can go ahead and remove these stone slabs. But I think before we do that, we'll just pop a few on the end here because I'm going to keep a slab underneath all of the looms here. So let's do this. Get rid of the slabs underneath the beds, and this just prevents the golems from spawning in the villager containment area so that we aren't wasting any spawns where they shouldn't be. So let me quickly sleep the night away again just to avoid any of the zombies, creepers, skeletons, spiders and all that good stuff that we don't really want to see at the moment. And then we're going to need our looms again right there. Perfect. So let's head back up to the top. And then if we come to the opposing side and do this. Oops, no, that. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. And then take them all the way to the end. All we need to do now is shepherd some villagers into this area. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we've got enough room for 16 villagers here, and then we'll get another 16 on the other side as well. So once we've set all of that up, of course, as I say, we'll shepherd the villagers up here, hopefully get them in place. And then we will see whether or not we're going to be able to reap the rewards of our hard work here. So as I say, let me get this started on the other side, and I'll bring you guys back in once it's about time to take the villagers into their new home. Okay guys, I'm on the pause screen at the moment, and right behind the pause screen you might have noticed something. So there is in fact a golem burning to death in our farm, which is good to see. So I must be doing something right here. There we go. Alright, he's about to die, hopefully, and we'll see if we collect his loot well enough. He's done. And there you have it. So our very first golem has died. We've got ourselves 1 poppy and 4 iron. And those are the results of having just 16 villagers at the moment. As you can see, they're all crammed into this little area here. And I was kind of concerned that they wouldn't be able to access their workstations because it was built slightly differently in the tutorial. The beds need to go down another block. So I might do that just in case that makes any sort of difference. And there's a cat down there. That's interesting. But as I was saying, I might do that just in case it makes any sort of difference involving the farm's output. Because, of course, we do, if we can help it, want to make this thing as efficient as possible. So what we'd need to do for that is to bring the beds down to... hey, stop. I think down to that level there would be ideal. So let's take this block out and then bring that all the way across like so. And then what I'll do probably is just, or will I? Or should I just leave it? It seemed to work. I might just leave it as it is actually, because it did seem to work. And as long as it is working, then we don't really care too much if the beds are in the right position or not. I think they should still be able to access their workstations in this setup, or it seemed that they could anyway. So we'll leave it as it is for now, but it's kind of a nightmare to get the villagers up there. So what I did was I built some walls going around the corner here, and I essentially just I brought them round and forced them up a ladder into that area, and it was a nightmarish experience to say the least, and it's going to take a little while to get this whole thing done, I can already tell, but we will do our best to make this thing into one of those farms that's going to produce enough output. Of course, we're ready to go on this side with our beds and our looms, so all we need to do is put the villagers in place. But design wise, there is a little bit of a hitch as well, because of course I was thinking that we'll just create a new cell for the villagers every 8 blocks. So every time we've got a new layer of water, we'll just create a new version of this, just a block higher. But there are some issues, as I said, with that, of course, in the fact that the wall here actually will extend over the top of where the beds need to start. So I don't know if that's going to be feasible, if there's any way that we can sort of cheese our way around that. There might be. I'll have to have a think about it, but we'll probably experiment on this side over here first, because of course this is the side that we haven't started construction on yet. So we'll test out a few designs over here to see what we can do and see if we can figure out a way to make it so that we can have just a continuous stream of beds that keep elevating by a block every 8 blocks in this farm. And I think we'll try and do a little bit more work here on the farm before we wrap the video up, but it's just good to see that this thing is in fully functioning order. So I will be right back. So I have a bit of an idea in mind about how we can organize the beds in a way that allows us to incrementally push them up by a block and also stop villagers from transferring between segments. So that idea is going to involve using trapdoors, and I think first of all we're going to have to come over here to the tree farm, of course, and grab some more wood because we're running a bit low on the old dark oak wood here. And I also had a bit of a thought as well. So considering now that the iron farm upstairs is probably going to be classed as a village, and I think the spawn rates of iron golems are based on the number of iron golems already in the village, do you guys maybe think that Gemma might cause an issue? I think you have to be 60 blocks outside of the village in order for it not to have an effect. So of course you can have villages that are 60 blocks apart without them interfering with each other. So hopefully we're a bit further than 60 blocks away from the village and Gemma doesn't have any sort of interference with it. But if she does, then it might be the end of her times in this world, unfortunately for her. So I'm going to continue chopping down the trees here and hope that we don't have to kill Gemma. And I will meet you guys back up at the iron golem farm. So this is the idea that I came up with to sort of prevent the villagers from backtracking and going down a layer. So hopefully these fence gates will be able to protect us from something that we don't want to happen, of course. The only thing I'm worried about is when they wake up, they might be able to kind of glitch through the gap here. But we're just going to have to keep our eyes open for that happening, and if it does, then of course we're gonna have to make changes. But I think this might be the answer because of course as a player you're the same size of a villager, I believe, so you cannot actually make your way into the next area by jumping, by walking, by anything, of course. So as I say, the only issue we may face is if the villager is in bed and gets pushed over or somehow wakes up and glitches underneath the barrier here. But we'll see what happens with that, of course, and make the appropriate changes if something bad goes wrong. And similarly to on the other side, we will just layer up the glass on the sides too high and keep going in that direction. So I think what we'll do is, before we wrap up here, we'll try and get the rest of the beds in place. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 12 beds. Hopefully we've got enough wool for that. If not, the mob farm, of course, is producing string that we can use for that purpose. So let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That should be enough, I think. Oh, okay, no, that's more than enough, but it's fine. We've created more than enough beds, but as I say, that's okay. We will need them eventually, so let's go ahead, bring them over here and in through there, and then we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and finally 12. We've got 2 left over, so then we can come underneath the farm and we can tear out these center blocks here, just so that the golems can't actually spawn where the beds are. This is what prevents that from happening. There we go. And of course, you don't need to take out the side ones here because they have the loom blocks on top of them, which again is a preventative measure that stops the golems from spawning over there. They can't spawn on those blocks because of the looms, of course. And then the looms get glass placed above them, which stops anything from spawning on top of those. So that's pretty much how it works. And hopefully this thing, the rates can increase a little bit, because I haven't seen a golem since last time, which is slightly annoying. But, you know, we might just have to make do with the slow rates for now, because of course we don't have many villagers at all, so we shouldn't be relying on this to produce too much. But we have so far produced ourselves 4 iron and 1 poppy, so hopefully, as I say, the rates can improve and this thing can produce us enough iron to sustain us in this world. So I just want to say thank you very much for turning up for today's video. This is going to be the end of it. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or feedback, please drop those down in the comment section below. That'll be much appreciated, and I can go ahead and respond to each and every one of those. If you like the video, then reciprocate that feeling with a like down below. That would also be very appreciated by myself, and I'll be grateful for that. And finally, if you're new around here and haven't subscribed yet, then be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned to this series and any other videos that we decide to post to the channel. So once again, you guys, thank you very much for taking precious time out of your day to come and watch my video. Take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.